Good afternoon, students. So, today we are going to study about the chapter 3 scoping. So, before we are going to study about that LEGB rule, just recall what are the things you have discussed about yesterday. So, yesterday what are the things I have taught? So, one important question said in scoping chapter LEGB rule, isn't it? So, yeah, before going to study about LEGB rule, so just recall what do you mean by scope. So, what do you mean by scope? Scope is the visibility of variables, parameters and functions, visibility of variables inside the function. So, another one thing yesterday I said, what is that? Mapping or binding, very very important. So, the variables and parameters are mapped to particular object. So, this scoping, we need to order or arrange something based on particular rule. That rule is called which rule? LEGB rule. Okay. So, this is very very important 5-mark question. Yesterday itself I said, surely you can expect this question from this chapter is a very very important chapter and also very very important question. Please listen carefully. Okay. So, all the things already you have studied in 11th standard also. Please, so listen carefully. Okay. So, what do you mean by LEGB rule? So, what's the meaning of that? What's the expansion of LEGB? Local, enclosed, global and built-in. Okay. So, what's the use of this LEGB rule? So, use of LEGB rule means is used to decide the order in which the scopes are to be set. That means you need to decide the order, which order particular scopes need to be run, or in which order the scopes need to be set, or in which order you are able to access the variables. Okay, for that you are giving particular rule called which rule? LEGB rule. Okay, so what's LEGB rule? L means local. Local means it will define inside the function or class. That means in a program, inside the class, most inside function we are calling as and which scope? Local scope. Okay. So that is inside the function of a class, you are defining a variable that is called as which scope? Local scope. Okay. Then enclosed scope is nothing but nested function. What do you mean by nested? This nested function you have already, you might have thoroughly in 11th standard. What do you mean by nested? A function or call or defined inside another one function. A function is defined or a class is defined inside another class. A function is defined inside another function. That is we are calling as which one? Nested function. So this, what do you mean by enclosed? That means defined inside one another. That is enclosing. So, what is the enclosed scope? It is defined inside another one function, that is enclosed. That means the variable defined inside the enclosing function. Next one is global. Global means the name itself is globally available. That means worldwide. Likewise, the global means it is defined at the uppermost level. So, which scope is defined at the uppermost level? Sometimes they will ask for the 1-mark question. Which scope will be available at the uppermost level? Global scope. Understand now? Next one is built-in. Built-in means a name itself built-in. That means already. For example, you are working with C program, maybe in C++ or Java or Python. So each and every program, some built-in modules are that means. So while you are installing the software itself, some built-in functions or built-in modules are there. So that is called as which one? Built-in. Understand? So what do you mean by LEGB? Local, enclosed, global and built-in. So if they ask for 2-mark or 3-mark questions, you should write the definition. Then you should draw this tabular column and should draw this diagram. So inside which one? First inside, that inside function is a global function. Next enclosed function. Then uppermost level global. Then built-in. Understand? Yes. Next thing, types of variable scope. There are mainly 4 types of variable scopes are there. Okay. How many types of variable scopes are there? 4. What are they? Local scope, global scope, enclosed scope and built-in scope. Understand? How many types of variable scopes are there? 4. What are they? Local scope, global scope, enclosed scope and built-in scope. Same you have studied in LEGB rule, no? Same one. Local means it is defined inside the function. Global means uppermost level. Enclosed means that function defined inside another one function. Built-in means already built in the predefined module. Understand now? So next thing we are going to study detail each heading. Okay. See, first one is the local scope. If you have a textbook, please open the textbook. Same thing only I have given and same diagram. Please refer it. Okay. So local scope means very very important question. Please once again I am telling, listen carefully. Yes. First thing, if you write means you should write these 3 points and you should draw this diagram also. Local scope means refers the variable defined inside the current function. First itself I said. So local means what? Inside the function. So which variable you are defining? The variables which are defined inside the current function is called which scope? Local scope. Understand? So in this scope, if you are running the program, the function will always first look the variable name in its local scope. Understand? That means which variable you are defining inside the function, it will look up first. Okay. So after that only it will check the outer scope. First always it will look inside that function which variable you are declaring. That variable only it will first check. Then afterwards only it will check outer. Understand? 3 points you have studied in local scope. What are they? So local scope means the variables defined inside the current function. Then this function always first look up the variable name inside this local scope. What's the next thing? Inside the function it will check the variable name. After that only it will check what? Outer scopes. Understand now? Yes, see this diagram. The same program only, you have the same program they have explained in local scope, global scope and enclosed scope. Some difference. What's this one? Dispaf. Dispaf is a function name. What's the, are you remembering? Dispaf is a function name. So inside this function I am giving one variable called what? A. What's the meaning of this one? Binding or mapping. That means the value 7 will be mapped to the which variable? A variable. Understand now? Yes. Next thing is I am printing that particular variable A. At last I have given another one function dispaf. So here how many scopes are there? See how many blocks are there up to this one block. They have mentioned in next diagram. See. So inside this up to this inner scope, that is local scope. And understand? Next outside is dispaf function alone. What's the thing? How the global local scope will function? It will always first it will variables defined inside the current function. Which variable defined is so inside the current function. This is the inside function, isn't it? So inside this which variable I have defined? A. What's the value of A now? 7. Next step I am giving print A. So what's the output? Just a thing. 7 is the output. Understand now? So whether any variables I have declared outside function? No. So whether it will check the outer scope? No. Understand now? So what are the things you have studied? So variables define local scope means variable defined inside the current function. So it will always look up the variable present inside the current function. If it is not found means only it will go for outer scope. So inside the function variables the A is I have defined. So it will print the result as 7. So outside the function there is nothing, no variable is there. So it will not display. Understand now? Yes. Next, okay. What's the next thing means? Global scope. Global scope is just opposite like this. Okay. Variable which is declared outside of all the function. So variables which declared outside all the function we are calling as which variable? Global variable. For example, if you the global variable is accessed. Second point. What's the first point? So but local scope means the variable can be accessed only inside the function alone. Can't able to access the function outside. But global scope is not like that. You can access a variable inside the function as well as outside the function. That variable is called as which variable? Global variable. Understand? The variable which is declared inside the function as well as outside the function, and also you can able to access the variable inside the function as well as outside the function. 2 points you said. What are they? Defined inside the variable is declared inside the function as well as outside function, and also you can able to access the variable inside as well as outside function. That is called as which scope? Global scope. Understand? See the program. So first I have declared the variable A. I am binding the value of A as 10. Whether I have given this value, whether this is an outer of the function or inner of the function. Say this variable A I have given no, whether I have given inside this function or outside this function, variable A. First thing is outside the function, isn't it? Inside the function this alone, display of A equal to 7, print A. Understand? How many functions are there in this program? 2. What are they? Dispaf and dis1off. Not this one dispaf, dis1off. Okay. How many functions are there inside the program? 2. What are they? Dispaf and dis1off. See, first there are two scopes are there. Sorry, two functions are there. Inner function and outer function. So listen. So which function will be executed first while you are compiling the program? Which function will be executed first? Inner function or outer function? Inner function. So listen, inside the display of I have given the variable a, the binding the value of a is 7. So print a. What's the output I will get first? 7 or 10? Think and say 7. Why? Inside the function I have given variable is 7. Next the program, the flow comes out display 1 of. Then what's the next step? Print a. But this print a will go, this control goes to this inside this function or outside the function. Think and say whether this print a means this variable a, the control flow inside the function or outside the function. Outside the function. Why? The variable a is declared the first outside the function. Understand? The variable, now this variable is accessed inside as well as outside the function. That is called the switch scope, global scope. That's the second output. First value of a is this print a 7. Second value of a is 10. Understand now? Next. Next thing is enclosed scope. What do you mean by enclosed? Already I said. Function within another function. That means function is defined inside another function is called the switch function, nested function. So very important one more question this, okay. Function which is defined in another function is called which function? Nested function. Okay. So here variable which is declared inside a function which contains function, that means so variable, if you are defining the variable inside the function and outside the function, both you can, and the both inside the function also you can access the variable, outside the function also you can able to access the variable. Understand now? So what do you mean by enclosed scope? Function is defined inside another one function is called which function? Nested function. So variable you are declaring inside the function definition, you can able to access the variable inside the function as well as outside the function. It is called a switch scope, enclosed scope. But in this scope, surely you need to mention the word nested. That's a very important here. Understand now? Yes, see this example. See how many functions are there. See how many functions? Disp of 1, 2, 3 and 4. How many functions are there? 4. See, in this disp a equal to 10. This is one function. Inside the first function I have declared the variable a and I am assigning the value of a as what? 10. Isn't it? Next, inside the disp of function, again I am giving another one function called disp1 of print a. One thing you listen carefully, whether I have declared or bind any value inside the display1 of function. Only see display1 of I have given print a, that's all. So inside whether I have given any value? No. Outside of this, inside the display of function only I am giving another one function display of, but this variable a can access the value a as a 10. How? Defining display1 of function inside another one function. Understand now? Yes. So what's the output of the program? If you run the program, which function it will run first? This one, display1 of. So display 1 of, then control flow, next line, print a. Print a means automatically this goes to where? This. Where? The value of a is 10. Okay, this function. Okay. Inside this function, next I am giving display1 of print a. Whether I have declared here I am giving binding values of a? No. Again the control will flow a. The what's value of a? 10. So I am giving the value of a as a 10 as only inside only first function display of. But the same variable you can access both display1 of function and next display1 of function. Both the functions you can able to access. That means function defined inside another function is called which scope? Enclosed scope. Understand now? Yes. Next thing is built-in scope. What's the fourth scope? Built-in scope. Okay. Already I said built-in scope means if the things already preloaded in the program. Okay. What do you mean by built-in scope? So already if you are installing the software, already all the things are preloaded in the compiler or interpreter. For example, in last year you have studied about which language? C++ language, isn't it? So in this C++ language, you are typing the program in C++. So in which software you type? Are you remembering? Dev C++, isn't it? If you are typing, after typing, what you will do? First step, if you save the file. After saving, what you are doing? Compiling the file. If compiling, you will get lot of errors, isn't it or not? How you are getting the errors? So while you are installing the C++ software itself, inside the software there are preloaded files. For example, int a equal to I am giving 5.5. Whether it is correct or not, think and say. Int a equal to 5.5. Whether it is correct or not? Wrong. Why? Integer means whether the float point 5.5 number will come. No. It will, if you are combining the programs, you will get error. How the error will throw? With previously, if you are installing the software already preloaded, this kind of things it will have. For example, syntax. Already you have studied about syntax. Int means this kind of numbers. Float means this kind of character means. If something it will different means it will throw an error. That is preloaded. Understand now? So if you are installing the software itself, the particular things are preloaded inside the compiler or interpreter. Okay, so that functions we are calling as a library functions. Okay, what is the functions? Already if you are installing the software, you are preloaded now. That functions is called which function? Library function. That module is called what? Built-in module or module scope. Understand? Very important questions. Once again I am telling, if they ask for the 5 mark questions, you should write, explain the definition of LEGB rule, then tabular column, then diagram, then 4 types of variable scope. What are they? Local scope, built-in scope, enclosed scope, global scope, built-in scope. 4 scopes you should write. Then draw this diagram as a write this program as a diagram. Then surely you will get all this 5 marks. Then all these points you should write to or 3. Understand? Very easy question. Please don't skip this. So after completion of this session, open your book. Please sit and study, write and see. Understand? Okay. So next thing is module. This also already you got studied in 11th standard as the chapter object oriented programming. Okay. Module is nothing but is a part of a program. What do you mean by module? It is a part of a program. For example, if a program contains 100 or 200 lines. So among these 200 lines, I am taking only 20 lines, important 20 lines. That is called as a module. I am splitting this 200 lines or for example 100 lines. I am splitting this program into 10 lines. Then how many modules you will get? 10 modules. Understand now? 100 line programs, I am splitting 10 lines. Then each 10 line we are calling as a module. Understand? Each line I am calling as a what? Sorry, each that 10 line, that is each block calling as a what? Module. So how many modules I will get for a 100 line program? For example, only I am telling how many modules I will get? 10. Understand? What's the first point? Module is a part of a program. Okay. So mostly why we are going for these modules. Okay. For example, this is 300, I am telling 200 lines, 300, 400 or 500 lines of a program is there. If you are running the program, you will get error. Whether it is easy to find error in 500 lines of a program or whether it is easy to find error in 10 lines of a program. Which one is easy? 10 lines, isn't it? So if a 500 line means you need to find in which line the error is coming, whether I need to correct the error, you will get confused. For that purpose only they are dividing in this kind of modules. Okay. So this example I am telling for only program. For software means if you are developing one new software, the software contains lot of modules are there. Why they are splitting? To make the job easier. Easier for what program? For they are designing the software means they need to write lot of coding. So in many parts are there. So first part they have done one module. Then second part is second module. Third is like this. A lot of modules they got splitted and it will make the work easier. Okay. So the program can be divided into small modules. So at last, for example, you are going to develop one software. Particular software they are dividing into small modules. But last you need to get the development of a software. So at last you will get one software. At that time you need to run all the modules. Then only you will get the proper output. For example, 200 line program is there. I said no. 10 lines you are splitting. But you need to get this output of the 200 lines of a program. Whether you need to execute this 200 lines of a program or only 10 lines, first 10 lines you are executing. Whether you will get the proper output for that program? No. You should combine all the things at the last. That means 10 lines you will execute one output, you will get next 10 line, next 10 line, likewise. So at last you will get on final output. That is called as what? The particular software. Okay, so process of, this is very important, one more question, just note it down. Process of subdividing a computer program is called which programming? Modular programming. Okay, what do you mean by modular programming? A process of dividing a computer program is called what? Modular programming. Why we are dividing? To make the job easier, and also modular programming enables programmers to divide up and debug pieces of program independently. That means So that independently means first 10 lines of code that I am giving this 200 lines of a program. First 10 lines I am giving for one person. Next 10 lines I am giving next person. Next 10 lines likewise lot of codes are there. I am giving each and that means independently they are working. First 10 line codes, first person is working separate. Next 10 lines separate. They are not dependent on each other. Independently they are working and you get proper output. So some examples they are giving. Procedures, subroutines and functions. What are the examples of modules? Procedures, subroutines and functions. So once again I am explaining what are the things. Sometimes they will ask for 2 mark question. Okay, what is a module? Module is a part of a program. A large software program is divided into small sub modules. So dividing computer program is called which programming? Modular programming. So each this is a modular program. These modules may make our work easier. Then each modules are our program and work independently. Examples of procedures, subroutines and functions. Understand now? Yes. Next thing is characteristics of module. This is very important 5 mark question. Most of the question paper if you see means they will ask either they ask for 2 mark question or 3 mark question or sometimes they will ask for 5 mark question. Very important question. Okay. Characteristics. Sometimes they will ask explain module and explain brief about characteristics of module. You should write about module introduction, next characteristics of module. Understand? Yes. So what's the first character? Module contain instructions, processing, logic and data. That means instructions. How you are going to done this program or how you are going to implement this. That is instructions. Then processing, how you are going to run the program, what's the output, logic and data, what's the technology here is, what's the thing, what's the functions you are using, what are the variables you are declaring, that is logic and data. Understand? What is the first point? Module contain what are the things? Instructions, processing, logic and data. Understand first point? Now itself you study please. What's the first point? Modules contain instruction, processing, logic and data. Next point is modules can be separately compiled and stored in a library. Already I said. So 200 lines of code I am splitting each as a 10 lines. So first 10 lines you can compile separate. Next 10 lines you can compile. So first 10 lines you are compiling, you will get one output. You are stored in one place. That is called as library. Understand? So modules can be separately compiled and stored in a library. Okay, these modules can be included in a program. In 200 lines program, first module you can include, second module you can include, third module. Likewise, a lot of modules you can include in program. That's the third point. Next, module segments can be used by invoking a name and some parameters. So each module you need to give, you can identify by giving some name and parameters. How you need to identify? By invoking a name and parameters. So module segments can be used by other module. That means one module segment can be used by another module. Okay. So what's the next point? One module segment can be used by another module. Understand? So 5 characteristics you have studied. What are they? Module contain what are the first point? Instructions, processing, logic and data. What's the next thing? Each module can be separately compiled and stored in a library. So 4th point. Each and every module you can include it in program. So each module you can get by invoking by what? Identified by module name and parameters. Module segments can be used by other. That means one module segment can be used by other module. Very important question. Now itself please study. Okay. Yes. Next thing is benefits of using modular programming. Why we are using this modular programming? This is also very important question. Okay. Modules, characteristics of modules, benefits of modular programming. Okay. Very important questions also. First one is less code to be written. So for this only first I said whether it is easy to write 200 lines of a code or whether it is easy to write 10 lines of a code. Which one is easy for you? 10 lines of a code, isn't it? So using this modular programming, you need to write only less number of code. That means less code to be written. Understand? Second, code is stored across multiple files. That I first said no. So for 200 lines of a code I am giving are 20%, 10 lines. So first code is stored in one file. Next person is storing that file in next. So multiple files you can able to store. The particular code is stored in multiple files. Understand now? Then next, code is very short. It's very simple and easily you can able to understand. Understand? So code is very short, simple and easy to understand. Then next point is the same code you can be using when you, for example, some softwares are related to one another. One software is related to another software. So same code you can use from here to there. So same software that support can be used in many applications. So errors can be easily identified. Whether it is easy to find error, 200 lines of your code altogether you compile means it is very tough to find error. But here like this you compile means errors can be easily identified. Then eliminating the need to retype the program. So for example the same first 10 lines I need to write the same 10 lines I need to type 5 or 6 times. Whether I need to type the program again and again, no, just you need to call the first module function name, that's enough. Understand? So the same concept you are studying in 11th standard, functioning, isn't it? Function calling. Are you remembering? The first I have declared the function, then at the main of program just I call the function means inside the things he will execute. The 4 or 5 times the same function I need to call means just I have give the function name means that's enough. Understand? Yes. So what are the benefits of the modular program study? Less code only need to be written. The code is, we can store the same code in multiple files. The code is very short, simple and easily you can understand. The same code you can use in many applications. Errors can be easily identified. So no need to type the program again and again. Understand? Yes. So next thing is access control. This is also a important 3-mark question. Okay. Then what do you mean by access control? So name itself having access. So what do you mean by access? Getting something. So this is one of the important security technique. What do you mean by access? Security technique. Who can view resources in computer diagram? Best example I am telling. So most of nowadays all the persons nowadays if you are seeing means most of the persons are the smartphones. Immediately whether anybody can open the phone immediately, no, because most of the persons lock their phones using pattern lock, then passwords, then fingerprints, etc. Isn't it? Why? For your security. Third person no need to see your data of your mobile. For that purpose only you are giving your passwords, logs or fingerprints, everything. That's one kind of a security thing. Why? Only you alone access the data present in your mobile. Same thing only. It is just think that one and study. Then only it is easily understand. It is a security technique regulates who can view the resource in computing environment. For example, in your computing, what you are working in, you are working in a particular environment, in a system or computer, in that environment, who can able to view the particular resource? You alone means only. That is called as access control. Who can able to access the resource? That is called as which one? Access control. Understand? Yes. In object-oriented programming, this already you have studied. Object-oriented programming, this access control is done by 3 keywords. What are they means? Public, private and protected. So this already you have studied or not? Yes. In object-oriented programming, this access control is given by 3 keywords. What are they? Public, private and protected. Okay. So this kind of keywords are working arranged. This arrangement of private instance and public variable use data encapsulation concept. This also already was studied in object-oriented programming. This private means what? Only inside the function alone you can able to access the variable. Public means all the entire program you can able to access the variable. So altogether this private and public methods we are calling as an which one? Data encapsulation. But in C, C++, Java, a lot of languages we are giving this kind of private, public and this protected keyword. But in Python we are not giving this kind of access method. Understand? Sometimes they will ask which language does not have the mechanism to access variable, instance variable method. Which language? Python. Python language we are not giving this kind of access methods. Instead of that we are giving the variable function name before the prefixing, and the prefix you are giving just double underscore. Understand? So in before the function, for example in C++ you are given no void read off. That's a function. In Python I have given just I put one underscore and write read off next to underscore. Understand? That's the thing I have given in Python. What's the thing? Just I am giving underscore instead of giving this access method. Understand? Yes. So what is the access control? It is a security technique who can able to view the resource. So in object-oriented programming this is done by 3 keywords. What are they? Public, private and protected. So this public and private altogether we are calling as an which mechanism? Data encapsulation. But Python we are not giving this kind of mechanism. Instead of them we are giving just prefixes, you are giving just underscore. Understand? Yes. So by this I am this chapter 3 get over. Okay, by this chapter 3 get over. So before getting over this chapter 3, just I am revising what are the things you have studied. What are the things you have studied in chapter 3? Just one time you revise. What are the things? So definition of a scope you have studied. Then what do you mean by variable scope you have studied? Mapping you have studied. Then namespaces, very very important 2 mark question. Namespaces, example of mapping. Then LEGB rule. Then definition, types of variable scope, local scope, enclosed scope, built-in scope. Then modules, characteristics of module, benefits are small chapter only, very very important chapter. By this, okay, this is chapter 3 will get over. Next one is chapter 4. So what's the chapter 4 means? Algorithmic strategies. Okay, what's the heading of a chapter 4? Algorithmic strategies. Okay, somewhat just different. So in this chapter, we are going to study lot of algorithms. What are things we are going to study in this chapter? Algorithms. Okay. Yes, listen. So what do you mean by algorithm? Algorithm is a finite set of instructions accomplish a particular task. That means algorithm is nothing but just like a procedure. Understand? What do you mean by algorithm? Just like a procedure. For example, in physics, you are before you are going to done a practical. What you will write? The first step you will write aim. What's the next step? You will write procedure. What are the things you are included in procedure? What you are doing in the practical? The same you are just like a theory. You will write in step by step manner. It's the same only. That procedure only we are calling here as a which one? Algorithm. Understand what do you mean by algorithm? It is a finite set of instruction. That means what do you mean by instruction? So first you do it like this. Second step is you need to do like this. Third step, that is a order. That's like a instructions you are giving. That's an algorithm. Algorithm is a finite set of instruction to accomplish particular task. What do you mean by for practical means I need to get this kind of output. So for that I am going to write procedure. That is a algorithm. Understand? What's the first point? Algorithm is a finite set of instruction to accomplish a particular task. It is step-by-step procedure for solving a given problem. For example, Max, you are writing one problem. What you will write? First you will write solution. What are the things they have given? Just you mention. Then you are doing the problem. Just what are the answers you will get? Just made a bomb. That's a procedure. Likewise, step-by-step procedure you will write. So same thing only. Algorithm also a step-by-step procedure for solving a given problem. So algorithm must have input and output. So whether the programs also you have input as well as output. What is the input in program you are giving? Typing the program. So after typing the program you will get proper output. So algorithm must also have input as well as output. Understand? So algorithms is used for, what's the use of algorithm? You can store the data. What do you mean by store? You can able to store the results. Manipulate. You can retrieve the manipulate and retrieve mean storing the data whenever you need. You can able to retrieve the data from data structures. For example, in your phone memory, you are saving particular videos or photos or anything in your phone memory. Whenever you need, you are opening and just seeing that photos or video. Likewise, algorithms also developed to store the particular variables or functions or anything inside the memory. From that, you will retrieve whenever you need. You will retrieve the data from data structures. Understand? Data structures is nothing but already you have studied in 11th standard. Arrays you have studied, structures, list, tuples, dictionary. All the things you have studied in 11th standard. What do you mean? What are the examples of data structures? Arrays, structures, list, tuples, dictionary, etc. Understand? Yes. The way of defining. So this is the way. Likewise, this is the way you need to design the algorithm. Like the way of defining an algorithm is called algorithmic strategy. What do you mean by algorithmic strategy? The way of defining algorithm. Important one word question, just note it down. If you have textbook means please underline it. What is meant by algorithmic strategy? The way of defining an algorithm is called algorithmic strategy. Understand? So what are the things you have studied in algorithm? Algorithm is a step-by-step procedure to accomplish it. That means finite set of instructions to accomplish a particular task. It is a step-by-step procedure to solve a particular problem. Algorithm must have proper input and output. What are the things you need to do? The algorithms can use to store the data, manipulate the data and retrieve the data from data structures. What are the examples? Arrays, structures, and way of defining algorithm is called algorithmic strategy. Listen. So these are the algorithms you are going to study. These are the lot of things are there. So these are the terms you are using in algorithm. First one is search. Name itself having search. To what do you mean? To search an item in a data structure. Okay. So you are going. Now what's the meaning of search? You are searching something like this. I am storing a lot of things in a data structure. I am going to search anyone from there. For that searching, I am using two algorithms. What means? Linear search algorithm and binary search algorithm. Understand? So what do you mean by search? To search an item in a stored in a data structure. For that I am using two. What are they? Binary search algorithm and linear search algorithm. Next one is sort. What do you mean by sort? Sorting means either they need to some order you need to arrange. Okay, to sort an item in certain order. Maybe it is an alphabetical order or ascending order or descending. Some order you need to arrange the data. That is called as what? Sort. To sort a certain items in order using what are the, here also you are using, here also you are using sorting algorithms. What are they means? Bubble sort algorithm, insertion sort algorithm and selection sort algorithm. Okay, what are these algorithms you are using for sort? Yeah, bubble sort algorithm, insertion sort algorithm and selection sort algorithm. What do you mean by sort? To sort an items using the methods. What are the methods? Bubble sort algorithm, insertion sort algorithm. Next one is